Hello again, Bethany. I would love to read some scripture for you today from the book of Ecclesiastes, which is one of my all-time favorites because every time I read Ecclesiastes, I'm reminded of truly where my mind should be and the things that I should be focusing on instead of earthly things or pleasures. So I'm going to read to you from chapter 2, in which King Solomon is talking about the futility of pleasure and possessions. So I just really hope this encourages your heart during this quarantine season, because I think all of us can relate in the fact that we've all lost something during this time. Maybe that's just the loss of time with loved ones. Maybe some of you have been laid off and have been hit significantly in your finances. Maybe some of you have lost in other ways that we can't even imagine. So I just hope this encourages you to, instead of focusing on what we've lost, focus on eternity and the things that are to come. Because as Solomon is saying, really everything is just vanity and striving for the wind. If it's not for the Lord, if we're seeking, earthly wisdom or pleasure or possessions, it's really just striving for nothing, because it's all going to be gone in the end. And one day we're going to be with Jesus in heaven, and none of these things are going to matter. And so that's why I love Ecclesiastes so much, because I think it's so easy for us, especially in America, to focus on the wrong things. We take a lot for granted. Even just the fact that we haven't been able to go out to eat or go shopping on our free time is something that we have been feeling and just really been missing lately. So I hope, again, that these words will just comfort you and just remind you what to strive for during this season of loss. So in chapter 2, Solomon said, "I said to myself, 'Come now, I will test you with pleasure, so enjoy yourself.' And behold, it too was futility. I said of laughter, 'It is madness,' and of pleasure, 'What does it accomplish?' I explored with my mind how to stimulate my body with wine while my mind was guiding me wisely, and how to take hold of folly until I could see what good there is for the sons of men to do under heaven the few years of their lives. I enlarged my works. I built houses for myself. I planted vineyards for myself. I made gardens and parks for myself, and I planted in them all kinds of fruit trees. I made ponds of water for myself from which to irrigate a forest of growing trees. I bought male and female slaves, and I had home-born slaves. I also possessed flocks and herds larger than all who preceded me in Jerusalem. Also, I collected for myself silver and gold and the treasure of kings and provinces. I provided for myself male and female singers and the pleasures of men, many concubines. Then I became great and increased more than all who preceded me in Jerusalem. My wisdom also stood by me. All that my eyes desired, I did not refuse them. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure, for my heart was pleased because of all my labor, and this was my reward for all my labor. Thus I considered all my activities which my hands had done, and the labor which I had exerted, and behold, all was vanity, and striving after the wind, and there was no profit under the sun." So basically what Solomon is saying is he had everything that you could possibly imagine. He really did not deny himself any type of earthly pleasure or item or money or possession. And at the end of it all, he really is saying it was all just striving after wind, and there was no profit under the sun. Later he goes on to say all is vanity. It's just vanity, striving for the wind. If it's not for the Lord, if you're not striving for the things that are from the Lord and to increase our treasures in heaven, what is it really for? So again, I hope these words will speak to you in some way, form, or fashion during this quarantine. And just remember, if you're feeling lost, or if you're feeling like there's just so much that you have lost or missed out on, remember, if it's not for the Lord, if it's just earthly things, it's okay. It's okay, because at the end it's something we can't take with us, and it's not going to be here when the Lord returns and he creates a new earth for us. So Bethany, I hope that we will see each other soon. We miss you so much. We're praying for you. We're thinking of you always, and we will see you shortly.